The petition of the Council and House of Representatives of His Majesty's Province of Massachusetts Bay, most humbly showeth that the Act passed in the last session of Parliament, entitled, An Act for Granting Certain Duties in the British Colonies and Plantations in America, etc., must necessarily bring many burdens upon the inhabitants of these colonies and plantations, which your petitioners conceive would not have been imposed if a full representation of the state of the colonies had been made to your honorable House. That the duties laid upon foreign sugars and molasses by a former Act of Parliament entitled, An Act for the Better Securing and Encouraging the Trade of His Majesty's Sugar Colonies in America, if the Act had been executed with rigor, must have had the effect of an absolute prohibition. That the duties laid on those articles by the present Act still remain so great that, however otherwise intended, they must undoubtedly have the same effect. That the importation of foreign molasses into this province in particular is of the greatest importance, and a prohibition will be prejudicial to many branches of its trade and will lessen the consumption of the manufactures of Great Britain. That this importance does not arise merely, nor principally, from the necessity of foreign molasses in order to its being consumed or distilled within the province. That if the trade for many years carried on for foreign molasses can be no longer continued, a vent cannot be sound for more than one-half the fish of inferior quality which are caught and cured by the inhabitants of the province, the French not permitting fish to be carried by foreigners to any of their islands, unless it be bartered or exchanged for molasses. That if there be no sale of fish of inferior quality it will be impossible to continue the fishery. The fish usually sent to Europe will then cost so dear that the French will be able to undersell the English at all the European markets, and by this means one of the most valuable returns to Great Britain will be utterly lost, and that great nursery of seamen destroyed. That the restraints laid upon the exportation of timber, boards, staves, and other lumber from the colonies to Ireland and other parts of Europe, except Great Britain, must greatly affect the trade of this province and discourage the clearing and improving of the lands which are yet uncultivated. That the powers given by the late Act to the Court of Vice-Admiralty, instituted over all America, are so expressed as to leave it doubtful whether goods seized for illicit importation in any one of the colonies may not be removed, in order to trial, to any other colony where the judge may reside, although at many hundred miles' distance from the place of seizure. That if this construction should be admitted, many persons, however legally they goods may have been imported, must lose their property, merely from an inability of following after it, and making that defense which they might do if the trial had been in the colony where the goods were seized. That this construction would be so much the more grievous, seeing that in America the officers by this act are indemnified in case of seizure whenever the Judge of Admiralty shall certify why that there was probable cause, and the claimant can neither have costs nor maintain an action against the person seizing, how much soever he may have expended in defense of his property.